There is a hidden shape in each of these illustrations. Do you know what it is? Here's Starshadowmagic, and if you've seen any art style study nowadays, you know the drill. This is a famous illustrator of which we want to figure out how to recreate the magic of their works. Starshadowmagic in particular has amazing character illustrations, combining both knowledge of figures and landscapes to make stunning compositions which draw the eye. So let's cut to the chase. The main thing to learn about Starshadowmagic's compositions, something that is in every single one. Triangles. No matter the subject matter, no matter if there's a background or not, most if not all of these paintings use triangles to 1. Create a figure-centered composition, 2. Create dynamicism, and 3. To create repetition. In fact, triangles, both symmetric and asymmetric, are the main frameworks of the overall shape of the character. Like here, here, and here. But it's not like only one triangle is used. Overlap and the rule of big, medium, small is used to add variance. The technical term of this layout is composition based on geometric forms, according to Loomis, and the triangle can even represent themes. The balanced triangle looks stable, while the off-balance triangle can add movement. But how are these triangles filled? It's not like the human body is triangle-shaped. Or is it? When you start with the triangle, you can fill it with hair or cloth, or use the triangle's edges itself to guide where the limbs of the character reach, adding to movement. Or do the exact opposite, use negative space to make the triangle. That's not to say you only need triangles. Combining simple shapes can create a framing effect. There are other notable things about Starshadowmagic's style, like the broad, unblended brushstrokes and simplified details of the background, but what I love most in these works is how simple these compositions are at its core, despite the finished works looking so different. So, let's test it out with our own compositions and see how it works. First, I took a doodle from the doodle pile and placed various types of triangles to make thumbnails to test them out. Then, filled in the triangles with the simplest method, hair or clothing. I picked the best thumbnail and rendered. Not bad, but we can take it a step further by adding even more triangles and use that thick brush to make the line art. This time, let's make it a little more difficult by using the triangle to dictate the placement of limbs instead of just filling it up with hair or clothing. Also, I finally understand why people like drawing hair now. One tip is that you gotta think of the hair like a doodle. You try and fill up the space as uniformly as possible. You see a random gap that doesn't look nice, add a strand. I found that not worrying about it and just turning my brain off worked surprisingly well. If you make 2 strands and they're the same width, add another strand beside the second one to offset it. For the big swoopy lines, zoom out to draw and then zoom in afterward to connect them later. If you can accept the inevitability that it will take you 1 hour to draw it, just try and enjoy it. The core of the painting is the same, but somehow, with the repetition of triangles, the overall feeling looks a bit better, don't you think? Leagues better than the initial doodle anyways. The fact that the hair is so detailed will hopefully distract the viewer from realizing any anatomy mistakes, shadow mistakes, and everything else. When lining, I set the thick lines layers at 80% opacity to make it more balanced than the thick lines of the body. If every layer is at 100%, it looks too bold and unbalanced. So by playing with the opacity of the liner, you can make it look softer. And for the finishing touches, I made a gradient with the multiply layer, added some blue to make the black more cold with the hardlight layer, and red with some glow dodge. And done. A drawing of a doodle, integrating the core concept of an illustrator I love, Starshadowmagic. And here is what I would change if I did it all over again. Although I wouldn't say that I tackled all of what makes this style, like copying it one-to-one, I do think learning this idea of triangle composition is both actionable in your own art and something you can use to elevate your own art piece without compromising on your own rules of style. That is to say, it's simple but can be used widely in many different ways, whether you render more realistically or not. Would you try it? Anyways, thanks for watching. See ya!